Hi, this is Gary. Welcome to today's video. So in today's Fountain Pen Showdown, we're going to be looking at two Chinese pens. The first one is this. This is a Jinhao 100 Centennial. It's in deep sea blue. And we're going to be comparing that against this one. This is a Moonman M600S in blue. So join me down on the mat. We'll look at these two pens, we'll compare them, and then we'll give them a rating. So here we are, let's fetch in the Jinhao 100. Just look at the colouring on this. It's a gorgeous blue colouring. You know, you've got dark blues, you've got pale blues. Just look at the way it shines in the light. I mean, the light's playing off this so nicely. Looking at it in a bit more detail, so on the top of the cap here we've got the Jinhao logo, which is unusual for a lot of Jinhao pens that I've got. So from there we come down and we can see we've got this black cap. It looks like it just screws on. This comes down again to a goldy coloured, I would think it's a plastic cap, but it's a beautiful one. Look at that, it's nice and springy. It slips well into the pocket, comes really easily out of the pocket, really is a good shirtable pen. So the cap, same width all the way down, there's no tapering or anything. It's got, I mean, I can't say how nice this blue colour is. This comes down into a wide, again it's a gold coloured band at the end of the cap, and then there's a really small step down to the body. It's so small you don't really notice it. The body then again continues with the same width all the way down. I think there's a little bit of tapering as we get towards the end. We've got another gold cap, and then we go into this black plastic cap here, which, yes, it's useful for unscrewing the whole body. It doesn't actually unscrew itself. It's not a blind cap. So let's take off the cap to reveal the nib. You know, this is what we care about when we're looking at our fountain pens, isn't it? It's the nib. This one, it's a beautiful two-tone nib. You can see it's mainly gold with that little silver accent. It's a medium nib. So the nib comes down into the section. The section has got a step at the end. It's not my favourite, but I don't like steps at the end of nibs. This one, it's nice and wide, so it doesn't dig into your finger when you're writing, so it's not too big an issue, but just be aware it's there if you don't like steps. So we come down, we've got a little gold band at the end, and then again into the threads for the body. If I unscrew the body off, so we can see, you know, it's a cartridge converter, standard Jinhao one. It's got metal fittings, so unfortunately not a pen you're going to be able to eyedropper, but that's fine. I mean, the cartridge converter, it works really well. Let's put that back on, fetch in the cap. Overall, really pretty, nice looking pen. The second pen then, this one, it's a Moonman M600S. Now, you'd be well within your rights to say, Gary, that looks exactly the same, and it's very similar. These are both, I don't want to say copies, but they're both inspired by the same pen, which is a Parker Duofold. So they're very similar, and there's lots of companies that do pens like this. So these aren't the only ones, it's just these are the ones I'm comparing today. So the Moonman M600S. So again, let's look at the colour. I've got to be honest, I really do love the colouring in this resin. This is meant to be blue, and yes, there are hints of blue there, but it's very dusty blue. It's not like a bright in-your-face blue. You know, I can see hints of greys in there. I can see greens as well coming out, you know, more like the tealy type green. And look at that chatoyancy in the resin. It's just gorgeous. I mean, it looks absolutely amazing. I like the look of the Jinhao, but compared to this, you know, this is just so much nicer. Let's have a quick walk through the body. So we'll start with the cap. So the cap, well, it's just a plain black cap. So unlike the Jinhao, there's no logo on the top. This one, again, unlike the Jinhao, it's got a slight tapering, which is nice. It just gives it that little bit more elegance, I think. We then come down and we look at the clip. Well, the clip is very different. This is more like a Parker style clip. So it's a bit like that arrowed look. It's still springy, but I find this a lot harder to get hold of than I do with the Jinhao. Still goes into my pocket really nicely, comes out of my pocket really nicely. So it's something you can use with your shirt. Again, with the cap, I mean, I can't say how nice this colour is. Just look at it. I mean, it smacks you in the face how nice it is. So we come down, it's the same width all the way down. We've got 2 bands here rather than that one wide one on the Jinhao. So these 2 gold coloured bands. Then we've got a little bit more of the resin before we come to our step down. Now on this one, I can feel the step down a little bit more than I can with the Jinhao. Whether that's to do with the fact it's going from resin to resin rather than the Jinhao, which goes from that goldy coloured band down to the resin body, I don't know. But definitely I'm aware of it more. I can feel it more. The body, again, that body, it's the same width all the way down. I've got to say it again. Just look at the resin. Down to a gold band, and then we've got that black blind cap again. So again, this black cap does not come off. Let's open this up. Take a look at the nib. So here we have the nib. It's a Moonman nib. So they only tend to come in fine. It doesn't look anywhere near as nice as the Jinhao's. I love the two-tone effect on the Jinhao. Does it right? Well, we'll find out in a few minutes, because at the end of the day, what it looks like is important, but what's more important is, does it right and how does it right? The section, well, I don't think the step up is as much as we see on the Jinhao 100. There's definitely one there, but it's nice, it's comfortable. So the section, we've got a slight, a bit like an hourglass, so it comes down slightly, then it goes back out again to where it meets the body. If we take a look inside, we've got a Moonman converter, and again, it's a metal body, so no chance of being able to eyedropper this one. So put the cap on. I'm going to fetch in the Jinhao, and we're going to look at these side by side now, because they're so similar. It'd be nice to actually look at them compared to each other. So here we go. Here's the 2 pens. As I say, looking at it, the Moonman, just so much nicer. I mean, when you spin them around, yes, you got that beautiful blue on the Jinhao, but the Moonman, it just looks so nice. I like the band difference. I think the 2 bands on the Moonman look so much nicer than that single one on the Jinhao. Personal taste, but your mileage may vary. Just quickly uncap them and look at the cap at the nibs. So here we are. Let's put them there so you can see the nibs. So they're both the same size nib. I believe they're both number 6 nibs. I just think, and again this is personal preference, I think this one here with that two-tone effect just looks more elegant than the single with the Moonman. But that's me. Your mileage may vary. Alright, it's time to do some measurements. So let's get these out of the way. Let's fetch in the rule. So we'll start with the Jinhao. So here we go. So with it capped, that comes in at 13.8 centimetres. Uncapped comes in at 12.6 centimetres. Posted, it does post, it's not too bad. Posted, it's very long. So posted, it comes in at 17.3 centimetres. So not a short pen in any respect. Let's check out the Moonman. So with the Moonman, so that comes in at 14 centimetres. Uncapped is 12.6 centimetres. Posted comes in at 17.7 centimetres. So the Moonman, in all our measurements so far, is slightly bigger. In terms of widths, let's get them both in so we can see them side by side. The body of the Jinhao 100 is 1.29 centimetres. Of the Moonman is 1.27 centimetres, so slightly narrower. With the caps, we've got 1.5 centimetres versus 1.49 centimetres, so not a lot of difference. If we look at the sections, so here's the Moonman, if it doesn't run away and leave us. And just fetch in one of these caps to stop it from rolling off. So the Jinhao, that section, it goes from 1 centimetre up to 1.11 centimetres, whereas the Moonman goes from 1.01 centimetres up to 1.1 centimetres. So again, all the measurements, they are very, very similar. You know, they're near enough that you'd say that they're identical. Okay, let's fetch in the scales and get some weights. The Jinhao 100, 28 grams. So quite a nice weight to that. The cap, that's 12 grams. For the Moonman, that's 28 grams. And the cap, 10 grams. So weight-wise, again, they're virtually identical. Let's get rid of the scales. So one final thing to check with the two pens is the uncapping. So with the Jinhao, we go half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, about 2 3/4 turns to uncap. I think that's quite a lot. For the Moonman, we go half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, just over 3 turns. So for me, they're both too many. I'd like to see it no more than 1.5 turns. But again, personal preference. Time now to do our writing samples. So I'll fetch in my notepad. So my notepad for today, it's made by Oxford and it uses the optic paper. So it's a nice white fountain pen friendly paper. So here we go. Our first pen today is the Jinhao. So this is Jinhao 100 with that medium nib. The ink that I'm using in here is by Diamine and it's Sapphire blue. I think this is a really nice coloured ink. So let me just fetch in my sample so we can look at it whilst that's drying a bit. It's got hints of purple in there. It's a really nice shading ink. Really like the look of this one. So let's carry on and test our wetness. So I've got the pen posted now to show it can be used posted. So let's go immediate. So immediately it's really wet. 5 seconds. You know, that seems to be drying quite a bit. 10 seconds. To be honest, I don't see much of the difference between the two. Let's go for 20 seconds. Yeah, that's looking a lot drier now. 30 seconds. Still got some wetness in there after 30 seconds, so now we'll leave it for 1 minute. Then after a minute, yeah, that's nice and dry now. So time now for our final writing sample with this pen. For this, I'm going to move the mic so it's closer to the paper so you can hear the pen write. Nice smooth pen to use, flows really, really well. The ink, not had any problems when I'm writing with this. We get a really nice line coming out of it, and to me the ink and the pen combination, they're just perfect for each other. I mean, they look so nice. As it writes really well. Not an extremely dry ink, so if you're left-handed you may struggle with this combination, but certainly I enjoy using it. So time to look at our second pen. Just going to reposition the paper slightly. So the second pen is the Moonman. So that's the Moonman M600S. And this has got a fine nib. The ink I'm using in here, it's by Oster. And it's called Great Southern Ocean. Just have a quick look at this ink. Here's my card for it. You know, it's a nice bluey ink. It's got shades of grey in there. It looks like when you're looking at the ocean, it really is a nice colour, and it goes really well in this pen. So let's do our wetness tests. So we go immediate. You know, we expect it to be wetter. I'm going to wait 5 seconds. 10 seconds. You know, that's already looking a lot drier than that Diamine in the Jinhao. Let's go now for 20 seconds. Still got a little bit of wetness there, but again, it looks less than in the other pen. 30 seconds. That is virtually dry. I'm going to leave it now for 1 minute. So there we go. After a minute, yeah, it's dry, which, given what it was at 30 seconds, you would expect that. Time now for the writing sample. So I'm going to move the mic and then we can hear the pen write. I love the colour of this ink. I love the shading that comes from it. And again, as with the other pen, the ink and the pen, to me, match really nicely. You know, you've got the greys in there, you've got the blues, you've got that hint of green. Really love this pen. Now, I want to do an additional test with these pens because they're both the same. So we're going to start with the Jinhao. So the Jinhao, this is meant to be a medium nib. So I'm just going to draw a couple of lines, just so we can look at that. So that's a medium nib in the Jinhao 100. Now with the Moonman, what I'm going to do is going to continue that line there, and then I'm going to do a couple of lines here. Now the Moonman, this is meant to be a fine nib, and I've got to be honest, to my eye, I cannot see a difference in the line width between the two of them. Even though this is meant to be medium and this is meant to be fine, when I see them on paper, they look the same to me. So whether that's because the Moonman is a wide nib, which I generally think it is, or it could be something to do with the Jinhao nib, I don't know. But I've found this with a number of these that I've got, that line width is the same. So that's just something to be aware of when you're looking at these. Let's take this all off and let's do some ratings. So here we have our two pens. It's time to give them some ratings. So we'll start off with the pen looks. How do I think the pen looks? What do I like about it? I love them both. Do not get me wrong. I think they're both really nice. I love the colouring in this, the way that it changes and bounces the light. I love the chatoyancy of this one. I mean, this Moonman M600S looks so nice. I like the dual band on the M600 as opposed to this single thick band on the Jinhao. So giving them a point, I think I'm going to have to give this one 8 out of 10. I'm going to give the Moonman 9 out of 10. Writing experience. They both wrote the same to me. They both are really smooth. They are nice. There's a little tiny bit of feedback in both of them, so I can feel that writing there, and I like to feel that. Really cannot say anything other than they both write really nicely. For that, compared to some of my other pens, which obviously aren't in here, I'm going to give them both an 8 out of 10. Ink flow. Again, I've not been able to tell anything different between the two of them. I have got another Jinhao 100 where I did have some issues when I was writing on Fountain paper, and I think that was a little bit of baby's bottom on the nib, but that was really quick and easy for me to sort out. A bit of micro mesh, a little bit of time doing figure of eights and lines, soon sorted that. So in terms of ink flow, again, I'm going to give them both the same mark, 8 out of 10. Value for money. So this is where we get a little bit of a difference. The Jinhao 100, that cost me $14.48 Australian dollars. The Moonman, that was $25.37, again Australian dollars. So there's a $10 price difference between them. Looking at all this, well, value for money. Remember, all that matters with our pens is, does it look nice? Does it write well? Does it let us get the thoughts out of our head? Yes, these both do. This one though, is cheaper. I'm going to give this 10 out of 10 for value for money. You know, it's really affordable. Most people could afford one of these. It comes with that cartridge converter, so you can use either your normal cartridges or you can use bottled ink. For the Moonman M600S, it's $10 more. It's starting to move out of that affordability bracket for some people. So it's got to impact the score. So I'm going to give that 8 out of 10. Which means our total scores at the end of the day, for the Jinhao 100, our average score here is 8.5 out of 10, which is really good. For the Moonman M600S, that's 8.25 out of 10. Both really nice pens. Both really write well. Would I recommend these pens? I absolutely would. As I say, I've got multiples of this one. I've only got one of this, but this is because of the choices available. So with the Jinhao 100S, now this screen I'm showing, the price is different. Price I quoted earlier is what I paid for it a few months ago. But look at all the different colours you can get. There's a real wide variety of colours available for the Jinhao 100. For the Moonman, it's, what, 4 colours? It's a lot less, which is a shame, but hopefully we'll see more colours and more resins coming out in the future. So what are my end thoughts? Well, the Jinhao 100, very affordable. As I say, it really is. Most people could afford one of these. It writes nicely. It's well balanced. Even when posted, it still doesn't feel top heavy. Downside, I do think at times, and certainly with some of the other colours, it can look a bit cheap, which is a shame, but if you get the right colour, it looks amazing like this one does. What would I like about it? Well, I'd like to have a little bit more weight in the pen. Same goes for the other one. To me, they're just that little bit too light. For the Moonman M600S, well, I've said it time after time. I absolutely love it. Look at that. It looks really nice. It's similar to the Jinhao 100. It feels nice in the hand. It writes really well. Just feels that little bit light to me, which is a shame because I think a little bit more weight would really take this to be an amazing pen. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Do you have either of these pens? Are you planning to buy them? What inks would you put in them? Please drop some comments below. Let's kickstart the conversation. If you haven't already, well, please hit that thumbs up button. Give me a like. The more people that like and comment on my videos, well, it helps the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.